Kara, hey, we're gonna just go over a few things that maybe you can improve on. One of those things that I want to focus on for you is your footwork while you're in your tie-ups and how you try to take space on the mat. What you're doing is you're doing a lot of running with your feet instead of taking shorter, more incremental steps. And sometimes your opponents are using your momentum against you. And what I want you to do is to get some tips here to maybe stop that and win some more of those situations on the boundary, of course, and as well as defend your legs a little bit better. That last clip, though, you did a good job getting to your front headlock after a leg shot attempt and finishing that with some points on the edge. Right here is where you start to run your feet a little bit, and I know that you're working to try to get her to the boundary and do the things that we've been working on. So I'm not picking on that. All I'm saying is that you need to widen your feet out a little bit, okay? Lower your body. Use your hairline to kind of as kind of an aiming point for your head, so your head doesn't drop too low or get too high. And you want to come up from underneath, up from the inside instead of around from the outside on your ties like you did right there. It just kind of puts you in a little bit of trouble. You do a good job getting to your feet here, but I think you can just avoid all of that by having a little bit better position. Right here is where I'm talking about on the edge, where you're starting to get a little bit of a drive going here. She uses your momentum against you, and it results in you getting out of bounds, but not in a favorable way. So kind of right there, bang. So you on that snap down, you should be able to touch the mat with your hand and react in a way so you're still facing the out of bounds and are scoring off of her bad attempt at a move. Okay, right there again, leg shot defense. Number one, have to save your legs before you go to anything else. Laces down, hips over the head if their head's inside, shoulder out of the hip pocket if their head's outside. Laces down. One more time, right there. Gotta get a good down block, so that way if they beat that down block and happen to get your legs, you're already in a good sprawl. Laces down, covering the head with your hips, or getting the shoulder out of the hip socket if their head's to the outside. 2-on-1. See, when you're doing that 2-on-1, that's not bad, but we're going to work on reaching around and re-grabbing their 2-on-1. We'll work on that in practice. Again, right here, the leg shot defense, you get to a nice sprawl. Okay, what you needed to do is you needed to scoot your hips over and get that head covered and then sprawl a little bit more, or come up into a nice front headlock with short elbows. You did a good job getting back to your feet there, though. But I think we could have scored off that if we just would have taken the extra steps to defend our legs. Right here, I think we got some headlock. Headlock takeover. This is a good job here. You were buried in the headlock, and you did a good job walking around the head and retaking over that move. But I do want to see us get a little easier points out of a headlock situation than risky points like that. So again, here I think another headlock situation. What we want to do is we want to be low enough so that way we can duck our head down. All right, we don't want to put our head in the pocket so that way they can easily punch over and get it locked up. All right, feet wide, butt low, back flat. Okay, head up, but in a way that you can low enough so you can touch the ground with your hand. Nobody can headlock you if you're that low. Okay, here you do a really good job of backing up, sagging your hips, bang, holding on to that inbound situation so that way you can get a nice easy push out. So you're not more risk on her part, and you ended up getting the reward. And here's your headlock, that last headlock defense. Here, look, free hand, you posted, use your far leg to post. You did a good job. I'd like to see you get out of that a little earlier, but hey, I think that you standing up to it was a good job. Good, decent lock here. We're going to work on that grip, okay? And help you get your knee to your lock, bring your chest to your lock, knee to your lock, and then pop. Get your hips tight to the body, so that way you get a ton of pressure over the shoulder and elevation on the hips. And I promise you'll be turning very tough kids with your gut wrench that's already starting to work for you.